Thank you all for attending this very special afternoon, this welcome home for Australian sailing team. So, as we know, we're particularly proud of this team, of their achievements, their steely determination to get the job done, and most importantly, their unassuming attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Australian sailing team. Thanks very much. Also to welcome today, and most importantly, the team's family and friends. Thank you for all the support you've given the sailors behind me here. Thank you in the full meaning and depth of those words. Also welcome to Sarah Kenny, who's representing the board of Australian Sailing today, our Vice President. The Australian Sailing Performance Director Peter Condi and Head Coach Victor Kovlenko, gold medal machine, I think they call it. And also all the team management. Our sponsors, particularly our major sponsors, Zyke and Nautica, and also, unfortunately I couldn't be here, the Australian Sports Commission, very important sponsor of the Australian sailing team. Also I welcome the flag officers and representatives from Middle Harbour Yacht Club, Middle Harbour 16-foot Skiff Club, Manning 16-foot Skiff Club, the Royal Prince Alfred Yacht Club, and the Royal Sydney Yacht Squadron, and the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia. Welcome all to this special event. Some apologies, the Federal Minister for Sport, Susan Ley, the New South Wales Minister for Sport, Stuart Ayres, Matt Allen, the President of Australian Sailing. He's got his own campaign going up at Hamilton Island at the moment, and he wishes he was here. Today's welcome at the Qantas Jet Base was something special. I think the Prime Minister gave the sailing the greatest plug of all sports, without a doubt, and justifiably so. Bit of media, of course, at the moment about success. They're already commenting on what does success mean. The public are asking, and I'm sure they're going to ask a lot more questions in the coming weeks. Success was, were you successful? It's an interesting word, success, Latin word, meaning outcome. So a favourable outcome. Let's have a look at the stats. 11 athletes, 7 events, 1 gold, 3 silver, 2 top 10 finishes, and a solid performance by the 470 women. Yes. Third in the sailing medal count behind the UK and the Netherlands, equal top 4 of the nation with 4 medals. Importantly, sorry to any Kiwis, the crowd in front of New Zealand. Conditions difficult, competition world's best and getting better. So is this success? I think for the organisation, Australian Sailing, yes it is. We looked at 3 to 4 medals and we've delivered 3 to 4 medals, and the Chairman of the Australian Sports Commission today described us as the example sport of Australia.
Well, we're talking to a happy man, the coach of the Australian Olympic sailing team, Victor Kovlenko. Victor, how did you go in Rio? Were you very happy with what the outcome was?
Yes, we were planning to have 4 medals and we got 4. And 1 gold and 3 very, very close to gold, silver medals, which my wife called them platinum. So we are very happy. Yes, we show our gold potential of our sport to all the world, to our country, and we can see our strong potential for Olympic Games in Tokyo.
So you took 11 to Rio and 7 medals?
Yes, 11 sailors went to Rio, some of them to get Olympic medals, which I said we were planning 4 and we brought 4 back, and some of them they went to Rio just to get their first Olympic experience before we will send them to Tokyo.
So what happens now? This is all over and you just take a breath now, and what's on the program?
Now short break. While we were in Rio, we were talking about future, talking between coaches, talking between me and high performance director, athletes, they were talking about future. We were talking what to do different, what to do better, how to restructure the system, how to make our sport much more successful in Tokyo and beyond. And that's what was our concern, not only now, but even before the games we were talking only about this.
You've got some good talent in the wings though, haven't you?
Yes, we have a lot of talent, extremely talented people in all classes. They are winning world championships in youth classes. Recently in 29er class, they show a huge potential. And they show again to all the world how strong is our sailing system in Australia.
We're talking to the 49er boys, Nathan and Ian. Mate, you started off very slowly into this regatta, didn't you?
Yeah, we didn't really have the best of first days. An 8 and a 13 is not really what you're looking for to set yourself up for the week. So unfortunately we made life a bit difficult for ourselves and had to play catch up all week, and started outside the top 10 on day one and just kept chipping away at it and made some good decisions, and some people sort of fell away and put ourselves in a good position for the medal race to grab the silver.
The actual racing was very, very strong, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the racing in the class is always pretty tough.
Yeah, when you get to Olympic level sailing, there's not going to be any bad boats in the fleet. So
No,
I guess if you have a bad race, you are looking at counting from the back.
Did you build up? You spent a lot of time with the America's Cup with the Artemis team. Did that affect it in any way as far as your build up is concerned? Or?
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair to say that if we weren't involved in the America's Cup, we probably would have been a bit better prepared. More time in the boat would have been useful. But we made that commitment after the London Olympics that we transitioned into the America's Cup, and I think we both thought that the best thing for us as sailors to continue our progression and develop as sailors was to keep doing the Olympics. It keeps you on your toes with your skills, and it keeps you under pressure at events. And I think that obviously not being able to do as much as we wanted to in the 49er made it difficult for us in Rio, but I think it's made us better sailors, and I think it keeps us better prepared for the America's Cup that's coming up. And Pete and Blair obviously were able to do it slightly better than us, but I think we hold our heads high and we're really proud of our result.
Well, you were pretty close to them at the end, weren't you?
They sort of ran away with it early, I think.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah.
There was a big points margin after the first few days, and from the middle of the regatta we might have had an even regatta with them.
Yeah.
We never really closed the deficit enough to really threaten them, I would have said. They just never really had a bad day. They were sailing consistently well, and I think we made a few mistakes early that really put us under a lot of pressure.
Talking to Matt Belcher of the 470s, got a silver medal. So how was the regatta, Matt? You did well.
Yeah, Will and I put together a really good performance, and to come away with an Olympic medal is pretty special. But we're really proud of our 4 years together and the journey to win 3 of the 4 World Championships and multiple European championships, and just the experience, what we were able to develop ourselves and as a team. It was really rewarding, and it's nice to know that in that Olympic environment you're able to put it together when you need to. You can be really proud of it.
It's a pretty feeling. Wild and woolly old regatta though, wasn't it? You got everything, didn't you?
Yeah, it was. It's funny that we've been to Rio 10 times and spent a lot of time at the Olympic venue, and because we've been there so much, we were really expecting a certain type of condition, and in typical fashion, it didn't happen. We had a bit more wind than what we expected, and we had directions that we'd never experienced before, and it really tested all the teams, and the diversity of conditions really favoured the more experienced teams, and we could see that at the end of the competition that the three most experienced teams really separated from the fleet, and we had 2 to 4 knots on day one, and we had 30 knots on day 2 in 3.5 metre sea, so you can't get any bigger of a difference than that.
Yeah, I've been to Rio a couple of times, and when it throws it down, it really throws it down, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and I guess that's why we loved racing there so much, and from a sailing point, it was phenomenal. The complicated currents, the large mountain ranges, every direction, you basically could get, depending on what system came through. 3.5 metre seas offshore, really had everything, and that really challenged us. And that's we enjoyed the sailing, and I guess we're gonna miss that diversity, that's for sure.
You started off well, did you? Or?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it's hard when you're coming in as defending Olympic champion, and the pressure that we had. Where we were definitely more conservative than most of the I guess our main competitors, and we just really wanted to post together some consistent performances in the early stages of the regatta. And hats off to the Croatian team. They come out with a 1 and a 2, and really laid the benchmark of where the fleet needed to. And we adjusted throughout the week. We were expecting them to make more mistakes than they did, and I guess it's a credit to them. It really is. They had a great performance, and Will and I are really proud of what we were able to put together, and really proud of the 4 years.
Well, the medal race was a good race for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's it's the first time in my career that all 3 boats had guaranteed a medal, and to have that at the Olympic Games, it was a great position for Will and I. We would have liked to have been closer to first,
sure.
But the strategy was simple. We needed to beat the Greek boat. We couldn't lose third, so we could only move up, and that was the main focus for that event, for that race. And whatever happened with the Croatian, we were just adjusting. And it's pretty hard when the Croatian are covering us and we're covering the Greek, and we've got like a 3-way match race in 8, 9, 10. It's hard to explain to the general public, but we did what we needed to do, and despite a couple of mishaps, in the later stage of the race, we really were able to come through and show our fighting spirit to get the job done.
Well, it was a real battle between you and the Greeks, though, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, it was. The strategy
punch-out,
was difficult because we were being covered heavily by the Croatian as well.
Yeah.
We're all back in the fleet, so it made it complicated, but we did what we needed to do, and it's tough in that environment, and it's a great experience as any team to be put under that pressure and having to perform in that moment, and we proved that we could, and it was close at the end, but it was good. We kept fighting towards the end, and very, very proud to have a silver medal, that's for sure.
So what's for you guys now? What are you going to do next?
It's been a long campaign for Will and I, and obviously Victor, and we've been campaigning heavily for 4 years, and we've done a lot of events. So I guess now we're going to regroup in a couple of months and see how we feel, see what kind of motivation that we have, and speak to my wife and have a look and see what opportunities there are. And I love this environment. The team's been talked about a lot. That family aspect, and this team is a large part of my family. And to be able to stay with Tom Burton and Jason Waterhouse, together in a house throughout the games was a real privilege for me. And if I walk away now, I'm going to really miss that experience. But we'll see.
So Tokyo's on the horizon.
I haven't said no and I haven't said yes. I just really want to spend some time with my family and then settle down a little bit and then see what happens.
Well, congratulations! You did us proud. That silver medal around your neck certainly says volumes.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here at Middle Harbour Yacht Club and a national training centre, and to see the friends and family, our sponsors, and everyone that's cheering us on back home. And I've been away for 8.5 months, so it's been a long journey, particularly this year, and to be able to come here and show our supporters, our number one supporters, what we've achieved together. It's a privilege for the team and a privilege for us, and we're just really thankful we have that level of support, and we have that structure to help support us.
Well, I think there's some dreams. I suppose there's something quite unique in store for you tonight. Just sleeping in your own bed.
Absolutely. We're pretty tired. We've just come off the charter flight. It's a long way from Rio, but we're here, and it's been great to see everyone. So certainly I'm going to look forward to sleeping tonight.
Congratulations, mate.
Cheers, thanks.
Thank you, man. I told you the silver medalists for the NACRA 17, Jason and Lisa, cousins. Congratulations. It's the first time that the races have been run for NACRA, and you come second in the world. Sounds good.
Yeah, the NACRA 17 is an awesome little boat to sail, and the mixed is a new thing for the Olympics, so we had great fun racing in Rio. It was super intense and awesome guys and girls in the fleet out there, so it was really fun.
You had a bit of an up and down type of a fleet, didn't you? A regatta, rather. You started well, and then you dropped back, and then you came good, and then...
Yeah, we had a good start to the regatta. Obviously the first day was a wacky day. I don't think I've ever sailed in conditions like that before. let alone raced in.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable, and we're really happy just to get 2 solid keepers that first day. And the second day we dominated, really shifty conditions,
That's right,
like Pittwater, where my hometown is. And then we struggled, held the yellow jersey the next day. We struggled that event, lost a bit of the points lead, and then the last day started off well with a bullet, and then the last race really killed us. Just didn't manage to bleed too well. All the conditions just were expecting conditions that we didn't really get, and that sort of dropped us back to 4th. And obviously to do that medal race and come back and secure that medal was actually just an awesome feeling.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it really is. It's always good to get into the last race, the medal race, and have something like that happen. It gives you a great feeling, doesn't it?
It was just nice to end 4-year campaign on a high. It's been a long 4 years. We've worked tremendously hard. We were the underdogs from the start, and we had to work our way to the top. And for me, anyway, it just was the icing on the cake.
Who was the gold medalist? That was
Argentina won the gold medal.
That's right.
Santi,
of course, that was the 52-year-old. Yeah.
yeah, Santiago Leng,
Santiago,
54
yeah.
years old, 5th Olympics, 2-time bronze medalist. He's a legend, and he fought really hard that week, and him and Ceci really put up a good fight. So good on him.
They were looking a little bit doubtful there for a while in the medal race, weren't they?
Yeah, they had a few penalties, but you know what? They were almost meant to win that gold medal, coming back and just sailing an awesome race, like hands down. Like we couldn't have done anything more, and neither could they, and they came away with that gold.
Yeah, they started actually. I watched the race again yesterday. They started a really interesting race under the pressure. Like we got a penalty on them off the start line, which they went really high risk, which I thought was strange, and then went high risk to catch back up. So last round the top mark, then 4th, and then infringed again on the top mark in a position where they could have easily just been safe and won the gold medal by many points. So I guess that for them it wasn't a perfect medal race, but I think they just managed to sail high risk and managed to get the rewards at the end. So yeah, obviously we did everything we could, and it was more hoping that they would mess it up, and they almost did. So at the end of the day, we can only control ourselves, and we started the race.
Oh, of course. So what's in store for you guys now? Are you still looking forward to the next Olympics in Tokyo? Or?
Yeah, well, we got a silver medal, and we're looking to get a gold one. So we'll be back in 4 years' time, hoping to represent Australia again.
I like that sort of talk.
Yeah.
That's very positive, Lisa. Matt Carroll, the CEO of Australian Sailing. Matt, your little ducks are home from Rio. So what's next?
What's next? I think we'll let them have a rest first, but I think a successful games for sailing. To come away with 4 medals out of 7 events, 11 sailors, we're very pleased. 3 silver and a gold. It was a good effort by the team, and the good pleasing thing, it's a great team. Not just a great sailing team, but a great team of people.
They seem to have a great camaraderie, don't they?
They do. I think others, well, not sort of gloating, other sports could learn a bit. They put a lot of effort into it, and they're there for each other. And I think that's why because you might notice they got better with each race, and they had to come back from behind, a number of them, and they did. And that shows team support.
Well, those medal races were really sensational, weren't they? Especially Tommy's.
Oh, it was. I mean, Tom's race displayed to all Australians the tactics, the mental strength, the decision making, the physical strength of what goes into sailing. I think a lot of people just thought it was a bit of wind and water. Not the case.
Yeah, well and truly. Well, as we know, we sailors, it's a good head sport. Keeps you on your toes, and you've got to be paying attention at all times.
Well, that's right. And
you've got to sail backwards too.
It's got to sail backwards. And the weather conditions in Rio were extreme in terms of variable. No wind to almost gale force wind. So that made it difficult. But it made it difficult for everyone. And the good thing about the team is that's the way they took it. They wanted gold in the events they were in.
Well, you must be happy sitting at the head of the organising committee as sailing Australian Sailing.
Yeah, look, we are very pleased. It's been a good year for us. New organisation. We've rebranded ourselves Australian Sailing, and we've had a successful Australian sailing team at the Rio Olympics. A good trifecta. The challenge now, of course, is always to build on things, and that's what we're going to do.
So what's next?
So what's next? Well, as I said, we're going to build on results this year, particularly taking sailing to a broader audience. We want to work with our clubs. Our job is to sell the sport and get people to the front door of the clubs, so they become sailing members, not just members.
Fantastic. Well, all the best and congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, man. We're talking to the man with the gold medal for the Australian sailing team. There it is. Have a look at that. That's Rio 2016. And that's Tom Burton, laser sailor extraordinaire. He pulled off one of the greatest starts in the history of medal racing for lasers. Now, Tom, I think you better take us right to the start and show us and tell us exactly what happened and why you did it and what you thought about it and how lucky and how unlucky or whatever you thought you were. So when you got up in the morning, what was your first thoughts?
Yeah, so obviously the day before we had missed racing, so we were supposed to race the medal race on the day before we actually did. So we sat around all day sitting in the container with no wind, just rigged up the boat and just sat there, and we were northerly wind, so we weren't really going to race. And then the girls eventually got sent out, and then a big sou'wester front hit, but we'd already been called off. So that was a kind of stress-free day, and we were just chilling out. The next day, woke up. A lot of the stress was from the day before where we thought we were going to race. So a lot of conversations between what are the possibilities that could happen, what we thought could happen, ways that could go really bad for us, ways that could go really good for us. So the morning of the race, it was just another quick refresh on the things that are going to help to win, and the things that we need to be aware of and be prepared for. So things like being to the right of the committee boat, so we can't get pushed the wrong way and get controlled of. Things that were going through my mind is just not really engaging until that last minute. So penalty in a laser, it's not very big unless it's done at the exact right time. So it needs to be done with 40 seconds to go, or a time where you can get back to the start line and the other boat can't. So that's pretty much what happened. So when Tonchi was attacking me, and I was kind of trying not to engage, so I didn't really want him to know what I was going to do, and I didn't really want him to figure out how he could get out of situations. He got me a few times, and I quickly got out of them, but then just let him come and get me again. So
So what, you sucked him in, did you?
A little bit. I didn't really want to show that I was attacking gold too much. I wanted to show that I would be happy if we just did a normal race.
But you guys were way by yourself, weren't you?
Yeah, we're way by ourselves. In a kind of safe zone. So being so far away from the start line's a bit of an advantage. I guess that as long as you can use it, it's an advantage for either one of you, because once you get away, you can sail clear. You don't have to stop because you're too close to the start line and wait and let the boat catch up. So it's a very timed run to the start line, and if you nail it, then there's nothing the boat behind you can do, because you don't have to stop and wait for them.
So you were 1 and 2, he was 1 and you were 2,
yeah,
as far as numbers are concerned. So was he chasing you, or were you chasing him?
Yeah, so he was chasing me with about 3.5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go pretty much. So he was,
Do you think that was a risky move on his part?
Not so much. It could have easily gone his way. If you did any day of the week, if you tried to do that, you'd want to be in his position and you want to be able to control the other boat. So it's not so risky for him. The risky thing for him was in the time frame where it was very crucial for him to not get a penalty. He got a penalty. That's the riskiest thing, So
you forced him, didn't you?
Yeah. So in that time frame, that's I had one shot to do it. If it lasted any later, I would have had to been going sailing to the start line, because we were too far away from the start line. So that was the one time that I could possibly do it. And I hadn't had any goes at him yet, so he wasn't really aware of what I was going to do or anything.
He wasn't prepared for you.
I'm sure he was. He's a world-class sailor, but I hadn't done any of the moves attacking him. I was always in defensive mode. He attacked me about 3 times, and so I hadn't never attacked him yet until the one that counted.
Were you counting them? Were you saying, I'm ready to go, now go?
Yeah, for sure. There was like a minute and a half left, and I was this is the only shot I've got. It needs to happen now, and it couldn't have gone better for me with the timing wise, but I didn't plan that when we were in the situation where I was trying to get a penalty on him. I lost track of time.
What happened at that particular moment? What did you do to him? You pushed him up?
Yeah, so he had hooked me 3 times, and I backed out of it, so to get rid of the windward leeward overlap. Then so the last time when I did it to him, he tried to back out of it as well, and I backed with him. And then he I think there was a coach boat right behind us that was pretty close to us and zoomed out of the way. I've only seen it in replays. I didn't really see that at the time. But what ended up happening, he kind of lost control with his back a little bit. And if two boats are backing, it's still windward leeward. So while we're both backing, I can kind of move to windward, and because he's backing as well, it's still windward leeward. So I've got rights over him, and the gap just closed, and he lost control of his backing a little bit, and yeah, he pretty much went head to wind and kind of just drifted into me. And windward leeward, I got a penalty on him.
And then you fell away. It was then the start, wasn't it?
Then it was, I probably wasted, a few seconds trying to get my protest flag out. I wasn't really aware at the time because I was pretty excited that I got a penalty on him. One, because now he's not attacking me because I'm going to be in front of him. And two, because, that's the goal. That was the whole goal of the situation. So I'd lost a little track of the time, but when I was sailing back to the start line, I was like, this is nearly perfect.
What do you mean, nearly perfect?
I was, 5-8 seconds late.
That was damn good, mate.
Yeah, one of the big things that hurt me a little bit was the big committee boat and the wind shadow behind that. So falling into a little wind shadow there, but yeah, it couldn't have got much better.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's back there having to do a 360, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's still, he could be last, but if I'm too far in second last and without the chance of catching up, it still works in his favour.
Oh, but you were running away from him, for heaven's sake. He was still mucking around.
Yeah, but if I was 10 seconds later, I would have been too far behind the fleet and I wouldn't have caught up. I only caught up just in the last bit of the last leg of the race. So, if I wasted 10 more seconds, and then I would have had to maybe think to try and risk more to catch up faster, and then if that didn't come off, then it would have gone all pear-shaped from there. So, being right on the tail of the guys, kind of in my mind, let me calm down a little bit, and thinking that I'm really quite close. All I need to do is chip away and get closer, a few metres at a time, and get back in the race and leave myself a chance even on the last downwind. So whereas if I was a little bit later, I would have going through my mind, I would have been thinking I need to catch up a lot, and maybe taking some more risks. So I was very minimal on the risk that I took on the first upwind. I just wanted to be in touch at the top mark, and that's what I was able to do.
So how many went past in the first leg?
None in the first leg, none in the second leg.
You just got on the end of the
just got closer.
Were they all bunched up?
Yeah, they were bunched up a fair bit. At the top mark, I was still second last.
That's good, isn't it? Because,
it was.
You get one, you get three.
Yeah, definitely. They're all fighting each other, and they're taking the long way around sometimes to try and pass each other. And I was, just getting closer by the second really, because they were, having to fight each other. After watching the replay, there was a big gain at the bottom mark where I was able to split the gate, where three boats were really compressed going around one gate, and I was able to sail around the other gate clean by myself, and that helped me pass two boats up the next beat, and get me up to fifth, I think, because one boat got pulled out of the top mark from being OCS, and then on the last downwind past another one halfway down, and one more right at the bottom to really clinch it.
So that last downhill run, how was that? How did you feel there?
A little bit more calm than the first upwind. The first upwind, even though I had done a good start and was in a good position relative to...
Did you see where he was?
Yeah, I could see he was way behind, but even though I was second last, Sam Meach from New Zealand was third. So at that halfway up the first beat, I was in bronze medal position, and I knew that. Even though I needed to catch up just to not even get gold, but even to hold silver, I needed to catch up. So that was also going through my mind. So half the race I was not thinking about gold so much because it was still a long way off, but even needed to get through silver on the way to getting gold on the last downwind.
Just counting as they went by.
Yeah.
Excellent, mate. Excellent. Well, it just proved one thing, Tom. Our sport is such a good sport, and it's such a good head sport too. Because he was gone. When you did that to him, he psychologically he'd had it.
Yeah, definitely. He was pushing quite hard, and it showed down the last run. He got a yellow flag, but I've watched the replay 2-3 times now, and it would have I've been in medal races where I've been in his position, not because I've been match raced, but because I've missed the first shift and been put right at the back, and it's just demoralising. You can't do anything. You try and catch up in one big foul swoop, and it obviously goes bad because 10 of the best guys in the world are in that race, and if they're going one way and you're the only one going the other way, it's pretty unlikely that you're the one that's going to pay out.
Well, mate, there is a precedent. You remember in 1983 in Newport, Rhode Island, one boat went one way and the other one went the other way, and the one that went the other way made the last mark and won the race, didn't it? The America's Cup.
Yeah, but this is, there's 9 boats going one way and one boat going the other way, so the odds of everyone getting the wrong way is pretty slim. So it's demoralising, I guess, for him. Sailing around the back, doing everything he can to sail fast and catch up, and slowly watching me, pick one off. Because halfway through that race, he would have still been thinking he's got gold for sure. So I can't imagine what was going through his mind, and only he knows that, I guess. And it was,
Well, I can imagine.
it all came together for me, and it really couldn't have gone much worse for
It
him.
was a killer move, mate. Absolute killer move. I think I put on my Facebook page, on Boats on TV, I said, Tom, what a killer move. I knew then, at 5 o'clock in the morning we were screaming.
Yeah.
Mate, congratulations.
Cheers, thank you.
Excellent. Now, what about your boat? What happens now? You put it away for a while, or what have you got in mind?
I'm not sure. Play it by ear, I think. Got a moth ready to go, so I'll pick that up in a few weeks, and very keen to get sailing some other boats and get some more experience in other boats and start going a little faster and just having a different aspect of sailing rather than 3 controls and hiking your ass off.
Now, which America's Cup have you signed with?
None. No.
Tom, you're talking to the world of water. We know.
No,
Not yet?
No phone calls yet, and I'm just pretty keen to get more experience and get out and sail some other boats before. I've done a lot of laser sailing, but not much other stuff at the moment.
You're looking to do any big boat sailing, or is it just?
Yeah, for sure. I'll be. The last 4 years, I've kind of been saying no to a lot of opportunities, a lot of people that have asked me to come sailing with them. Because I didn't want to, jeopardise my laser sailing, and I wanted to give everything my laser sailing at 100%, and I wanted to walk away from these Olympics with no regrets and say that I did everything I could to win, no matter what the result was. Obviously, it's great to walk away with the gold, and now I can say that all those things that I said no to was well worth it. But yeah, from now on, I think I'll be saying yes to a few more things, and definitely getting some more experience and meeting some different style of sailors and a lot more friends along the way.
You're going to defend in Tokyo?
Oh yeah, I'd love to. It just depends what everything goes. The last year's been a real slog laser sailing. It's been coming down here every day, 5 days a week going laser sailing with a great bunch of guys. But it's definitely been tough. Some days are just deja vu of the day before. So we all push really hard and we all love it. But we all have our moments where we're like, just don't want to do this anymore. But it's holding the gold medal around your neck. That all kind of just gets forgotten. But yeah,
it's not heavy, is it?
It is. I've been wearing it for 2 hours. Yeah. But yeah, it's the feeling overcomes the bad memories of the laser sailing, and it's I've just the sailing's great.
You had some time off before Rio, didn't you? When you went around Europe, didn't you?
Not really. Like even when I wasn't sailing, I was training, as hard as I could in preparation physically for Rio, and just making sure that I was, best set up as I could be. But yeah, just the fact that I just don't want to say no to any more opportunities. I want to say yes to anyone that comes asking if I want to go sailing and get some more experience on more boats and have fun with it.
And you've got some good sponsors, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got a great team behind us, in the team, outside the team with all the supporters as well that just follow. But yeah, our team's great. All the supporters that within Australia that help us out and make it possible. Naming them, we'll just be here all day. It's just everyone helps out. Even personal sponsors to the team sponsors, it just makes it all possible. It wouldn't be possible to go around Europe for 6 months with no one helping. We definitely need them to help, and it's more special to be able to come here with a gold medal and share it and talk to everyone that's helped along the way and experience it and share it with them.
Mate, it was a great race. Enjoy it when you get to see it again with some commentary to it. But that 5 seconds or 10, 15, 20 seconds or whatever, when you did that, I thought, hello, there's a gold medal for Australia.
Yeah, for sure. I've watched many medal races. I've watched the Ainsley versus Shite one, the 30 seconds to 2 minutes on YouTube from the 2000 games, and on YouTube just over and over, and to have a moment like that for myself, and in a great race that I just pulled out everything that I needed to do, and it all come together, to be able to watch that for years to come, and for people to talk about that is very special to me.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. Congratulations.
Cheers, thanks.